What's good, peeps? Thanks as always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. All right, let's do this. This week in boxing episode... Is it 5 or 6? I think it's 6. It could be 5. Could be wrong. Don't know. All right, let's get to the results first anyway. From the O2 Arena in London first. Vasyl Lomachenko beat Luke Campbell by unanimous decision. I can't actually remember what the official scorecard was. I had it 9-3 or 10-2. I think it was... something like that. He obviously now adds the WBC belt to his WBA, WBO and Ring Magazine titles. And he's going to look for the IBF belt as well now. Easy fight to make, obviously, because Richard Comey and Teofimo Lopez are promoted by Bob Arum, Top Rank. So that's an easy fight to do. That fight will take place. The Lopez-Comey fight takes place December 14th, Madison Square Garden. So I'm thinking... Lomachenko versus the winner, that's probably going to be sometime in the summer. If not, it will be around this time next year, and Lomachenko will have an interim fight in between. Povetkin beat Hughie Fury by, I think, unanimous decision as well. Scorecards 117, 111 across the board. So disappointed in Hughie Fury, I can't lie. I don't know if you guys have watched the Hughie Fury video. I just did, but I kind of went into him because, again, what an opportunity. I don't think he really should have been fighting Povetkin. But after 4 or 5 rounds, I gave him a very good chance. And then he just seemed to coast. It's the only word I can describe, coast. The younger man looked tired in there against a 40-year-old or soon-to-be 40-year-old Povetkin. Very, very disappointing performance. And on the back of that performance, if I'm Eddie Hearn, I'm fucking thinking, why have I signed this guy? I said it again on that video I've done. Go and watch it if you haven't watched it. That if his name wasn't Fury, we wouldn't be that interested because he just disappoints. Again, this is now 3 times he stepped up and 3. Look, it's not like he's stepping up and giving it his all. If he steps up and gives it his all, I don't actually mind. But I feel like this is a guy that, for some reason, steps up and then just wilts under pressure a bit. Or maybe it's his trainer, Peter Fury. I don't know, but either way, it's disappointing. Charlie Edwards versus Martinez, a no contest. Martinez hit Charlie Edwards when he was down in round 3 to the body. And he was down, to be fair. But still, weird decision. And the reason I say weird, look, I think no contest is the right decision. But I've never seen it like being delivered like that or administered like that. Normally, what happens is... someone puts in an appeal, it goes to an adjudicator, and then it's been turned into a no contest. I've never seen a no contest kind of being given because of what someone's seen on the big screen. Because that's kind of what it was, right? People reacted on the big screen. Eddie Hearn jumped into the ring, spoke to Mauricio Suleiman, and he was like, yep, no contest. And I wonder if that's not Eddie Hearn, i.e. a very powerful promoter, powerful someone to have for the WBC. I wonder if that would have been overturned right there and then immediately. Charlie Edwards was getting lit up. Lit up. He ain't wanting that rematch. He's already talking about, you know what, I'm struggling with the weight. I'm going to go. Dude, Charlie Edwards, you cannot even go to Superfly. They would smoke your boots. That is the shark-infested pool. Martinez was no joke. Martinez even looked undersized. He was no joke. He is what we would call a roadman. I mean... That guy, literally, I don't know if you I don't know what telecast you guys were watching, but they were talking about Martinez on the ESPN telecast, and they're like I don't know, about 5 fights ago or something, he got arrested, went to jail, had fights in jail, but then he said being in jail helped him to cut weight. I mean, these people over there are built for this. I mean, I've always said this as well. This is their weight division. I mean, Martinez could probably be ranked number 20 in Mexico. He's good enough to be number 1 in Europe. It's their weight division. So although it was a no contest and Charlie Edwards keeps his belt, Mauricio Suleiman did say an immediate rematch. Ain't happening. I'm telling you now, he's vacating. He's vacating and Martinez is fighting for that vacant belt. Buatsi beat, is it Ryan Ford in the 7th? That was a low blow, you know. It was a low blow that put him down, and then it was a punch on the back of the head. I didn't listen to the Sky Sports telecast, but people were telling me that Sky Sports were like okay with it, so to speak. I don't know. I don't want to say that's 100% concrete, but that's what I kind of read on Twitter. But actually, it didn't look that good. He was starting to go through the gears. but it didn't look that good. But one thing that kind of I didn't like, which has nothing to do with the fight, but was after the fight, when Ryan Ford said, you only gave me 3 weeks notice. Give me more than 3 weeks notice and we'll see. Do you know how many of Buatsi's opponents have said that? Like, I'm not even having a dig at Buatsi. This isn't Buatsi's fault. This is the management and promoters' fault. They're giving Buatsi opponents 2 and 3 weeks notice. Why? Buatsi's known that he's going to be in this card for, I think, 6 weeks. Why is Buatsi's opponents getting 3 weeks notice, 2 weeks notice? I mean, it's a joke, isn't it? Let's be honest, it's a joke. It's a joke. Give someone 6 to 7 weeks notice to fight you so we know how good you are. And this is the problem for a lot of these guys coming up. We look at these guys and they start to gas in round 4 or 5 and we're like, oh, you're a professional athlete, why are you gassing? Well, they're getting 2 weeks or 3 weeks notice. That's why they're gassing. So let's hope that the next Buatsi opponent can get a fucking full training camp. Embarrassing, that is. Joe Cordina retained his British and Commonwealth lightweight titles in an all-Wales clash with a points win over Gwyn. Savannah Marshall stopped Danielle Basteri in the 5th. She's a good boxer. I actually like her. I think she's a clean boxer. Nothing special, but a good boxer. Obviously, she wants the Clarissa Shields fight next. Or not next, but wants it. She beat Clarissa Shields as an amateur. Clarissa Shields has got Ivana Habzin next. And then after that, why not? There's no one else really, is there? I mean, the female boxing isn't kind of full of talent right now. So they're going to make that fight happen. I don't know when, but it's going to happen, isn't it? In Australia, Jeff Horn got stopped by Michael Zarafa. That's the guy that Kell Brook fight. Everyone laughed about Kell Brook fighting him. Stop Jeff Horn. Don't know what that means. I don't even know why I mentioned that, but stop Jeff Horn. If you guys haven't watched it, or you've at least watched the highlights, his corner is a fucking disgrace. Actually, the corner and the ref. I mean, Jeff Horn was getting lit up. And I'm thinking, just throw in the towel. Your boy's not winning this. Throw in the towel and save him. Especially when you consider what's happened in the last couple of months in boxing. Throw in the fucking towel. They didn't. How the ref let him continue after he got up in the 9th, I'll never know. I mean, what are they trying to do here? What, because he's the hometown favourite? Fucking disgraceful. No, they should have stopped that fight a long time ago. But yeah, that was a kind of an upset because Jeff Horn was supposed to then fight, I think, Murata. And then the winner of that, believe it or not, fight the winner of GGG Derevchenko. That's what I'm kind of hearing, which is a bit of embarrassment. But yeah, that was going to happen. Tyrone Spong stopped Jason Minder in 2. The reason I mentioned that, I probably wouldn't have mentioned it before, but obviously we know that Tyrone Spong is linked or will fight Usyk next. So he gets that decision. So he gets the win by knockout, and it looks like he will fight Usyk October 12th in Chicago. Let me say this about Tyrone Spong. I done a video talking about this. Tyrone Spong, I don't think will beat Usyk, right? I think it's fair to say. If Tyrone Spong catches Usyk clean on the chin, just saying. Lara beat up Canelo's brother in 2 rounds. And then for some reason called out Canelo. Ain't happening, son. Ain't happening. Lara's a good boxer, but just wasn't a fan-friendly boxer. So TV wasn't very happy with him. And then unfortunately lost the big ones, right? The big opportunities, lost them. Paul Williams, he beat. Was that a draw or a loss? I can't remember, but didn't get that. Canelo didn't get that. Jarrett Hurt didn't get that. So it's a shame, right? Some fights that were announced yesterday, even though this fight card was spoken about already, but it was officially announced yesterday. Chisora versus Parker. Taylor versus Progress, which will headline, by the way. Coley versus Ngabo for the European Cruiserweight title. And Burns versus Selby. Strange fight, but that's the card. Pay-per-view. What do you guys think about that bit on pay-per-view? Tony Yoka, it was announced during the week, will fight Michael Wallish. September 28th. I'm very, very high on Tony Yoka. Very high. There is that little asterisk against his name because he got banned for missing drug tests. So not failing the test, but missing them. Interesting. We are talking about an Olympic gold medalist as well. Very high on him. He needs to fight someone, though, of note to get in the mix. I do think he's only had like 9 fights or something like that. So he's still very young in his career, but he needs to fight someone of note to get in the mix. But very, very good prospect. I mentioned this just now, but again, just to mention it again, Comey versus Lopez is official for the 14th of December. I do favour Comey in that fight. I think Comey will beat Lopez. Comey could stop Lopez. I think Comey's that good. I think he's that good, strong, massive at the weight. And like Luke Campbell did yesterday, knows how to use his distance and range, but then land some spiteful shots. So throws his hands a bit more than Luke Campbell. So is open to get countered, but he's a fan-friendly fighter, and I like him a lot. All right, let's get to some news. Not much news, not much at all, but again, interesting stuff. I didn't mention this last week, and I was going to do a video on it, but I couldn't be asked because it just annoys the fuck out of me. Tyson Fury versus Otto Wallin will be on pay-per-view. Again, listening to the ESPN broadcast of the Loma versus Campbell fight, they were really trying to sell this fight. Stop embarrassing yourselves. But now, yeah, it's been announced that it will be on BT Sports pay-per-view, which is just horrendous, isn't it? Let's be honest. I mean, just horrendous. Who makes these decisions? I see a lot of people sort of coming at Frank Warren. This is above Frank Warren said. This has nothing to do with Frank Warren. This is BT Sports execs that have decided that, I guess, after the Deontay Wilder fight, every Tyson Fury fight will be on pay-per-view. This is a joke. I mean, the Tom Schwartz one, we're led to believe, done something like 50,000 buys. I mean, this will do around the same. Surely, what's the point? What is the point? I'm all for paying for a Tyson Fury pay-per-view if he's fighting someone of note, but he's not. So the punishment here is he's fighting Otto Wallin, number one punishment. Second punishment for UK fans, it's at 4 in the morning. Third punishment for UK fans, you have to pay 20 quid to watch it. Go figure. Fucking disappointing. This was announced this week. I've done a video on it, but let's quickly touch on it again. Callum Smith, supposedly, according to Joe Gallagher, is 1 foot out of the Matchroom door. A couple of reasons. Number one, not getting big fights. It was announced this week that the WBA have ordered that he fights his mandatory John Ryder. John Ryder was trying to get a fight with Chris Eubank Jr. Don't know what's happened there. But yeah, he's not getting bigger fights and he's not getting paid enough, basically, for those fights that he's not getting. Don't know. I don't know what Callum Smith expects Matchroom to do. Callum Smith doesn't really help himself in trying to sell himself. Is that the job of the promoter? Probably, right? The promoter is there to promote you, but you can promote yourself through social media nowadays. I just am not excited for Callum Smith fights. Someone mentioned or asked me a question on the Q&A, what about Callum Smith Bivol? And I'm like, doesn't excite me. I don't go, oh my God, for it. Don't get sweaty palms. Don't get that feeling in the pit of my stomach about it. Nothing. The problem for Callum Smith is that he's recognised as the number one super middleweight in the world. And because of that, he thinks he should get paid like the number one super middleweight in the world. Let's not forget, Joe Gallagher kind of laughed off a £1 million offer from Frank Warren to him to fight Billy Joe Saunders. £1 million. So they clearly think he's worth more than that. I don't. Because I know it's not about the belts you've got. It's about how many people want to see you fight for those belts or defend those belts. And not many people want to see that with Callum Smith. The Liverpool market is a hotbed for boxing and they still haven't built him up in that Liverpool market. They still haven't. They'd rather have him fight on the AJ undercard against Ndam. Their fault. It was released this week, the corner cam for the Kovalev versus Yard fight. And you could hear the advice of Tunde Ajayi in the corner. Oh, it wasn't great, was it? It wasn't great. That 8th round advice, empty your tank. Empty your tank. I don't think I've ever heard that. I'm not joking. I don't think I've ever heard someone say, empty your tank. That's a lie. I've heard it in the 12th. You hear it in the 12th. Give it everything you've got now. This is the 12th and final round. And then they'll say stuff like, remember your kids, your family, all that. You get that. Not in the 8th. Empty your tank. I mean, okay, tank empty. Then what do you expect him to do when he doesn't get his fire out of there? Which he didn't. Bad corner advice, honestly. Just his advice in general. There wasn't much. And look, we don't know what goes on in camp, right? So maybe Anthony Yard reacts to different things. So maybe him saying stuff like lines in the camp is a way to get Anthony Yard pumped and it works. We don't know. But you normally want to hear some strategic advice. That's kind of what I want to hear. Like, okay, his left hand is down. If you double up to the body, double up to the head, go to something like that. I'm not a trainer, so maybe I'm talking shit, but I want to hear that. I don't want to hear empty your tank in a world title fight when you've never ever gone past 6 rounds before and you're fighting one of the best light heavyweights of this generation. Empty your tank isn't going to work. Fighters moving up and moving down. Maurice Hooker obviously lost his title last month to Ramirez. He said he's moving to welterweight, struggling with the weight and all that kind of stuff. Fighters always say that when they lose. Welterweight, good luck. Good luck. Especially good luck when you are with DAZN. Again, not many welterweights with DAZN. I said this about Mikey Garcia signing to Matchroom. If Mikey wants to fight at 140, 100% sign with Matchroom. Obviously, they got Josh Taylor. They got a few 140 guys. Mikey wants to go to Matchroom and be at 147. No one out there. There's no one to fight. The only place to be is PBC. No one to fight. Austin Trout says he's coming down to 147. Austin Trout, who obviously former world champion, shocked Miguel Cotto, one of the biggest upsets of the year back then. Is now kind of a gatekeeper at 154 pounds. Has lost a few big ones. Said he wants to come back down to 147, or come back down. I say come back down, come down to 147 pounds. And he mentioned the name Danny Garcia. I don't know how old he is. I'm guessing he looks old, but I don't think he is, you know. I think Austin Trout's like 32, 33. But it's weird. Normally it's the opposite way, right? Oh, I'm struggling with the weight, go up to 160. Coming down to 147. I don't know. He says he makes 154 pounds easy. There's no way, I'm saying, there's no way as a grown man of nearly 6 foot, you make 147 pounds easy. I'm guessing he's about 5'10". You don't make 154 pounds easy. Sorry, you don't. Comebacks, and we always hear this, every week there's a story about someone coming back. This one shocked me a bit. Kermit Cintron. I was a big fan of Kermit Cintron back in the day. Former IBF champion at 147 pounds. I think, yeah, I'm an IBF champion. He's talking about coming back, 168 pounds. Says he wants to come back. Mentioned a few names. He's now, I think, 40, 41. Stay retired, homie. Stay retired. All right, let's end on this. Not a long this week in boxing, is it, this week? But let's end on this one. This Javante Davis, Tevin Farmer issue. Not much updates, but I don't think I've really spoken about it in detail. Just so you know where we are, Eddie Hearn mentioned this again this week, that he's offered Javante Davis $5 million for the Tevin Farmer fight. The only glitch, obviously, the only stumbling block is that the fight has to be on DAZN. Now, this is where you've got to be fair to your boxers and not fair to the networks. If you are fair to your boxers, i.e. I say if, I'm talking about Floyd and Leonard Ellaby, you let him fight on DAZN for $5 million because that is a career high payday no matter what. Like, Javante Davis hasn't got, I'll be shocked if Javante Davis has got half that, maybe around 2.53. He's not got $5 million to fight yet. He hasn't. He's been offered $5 million to go and fight on DAZN. Just let him. Because personally, I think Javante Davis smokes Tevin Farmer, if I'm honest. I think he knocks him out. So you take his belt on another platform and then you run back. So you literally rob that platform. Do it. He's not trying to say you fight on DAZN and you have to sign a 4 or 5 fight contract. No, he's saying just have the fight on DAZN. I don't see the problem. Leonard Ellaby has countered it by offering Tevin Farmer $2 million to have the fight on Showtime. I guess they're thinking is that it'll be on pay-per-view. Tevin Farmer laughed off that money. Don't know why. $2 million. I mean, let's not forget what you were earning about a year and a half ago. You wasn't earning, my point exactly. So there is obviously this issue now about where the fight will take place and the money. Javante Davis is clearly the A-side here. Even Eddie Hearn said it. He said it's a 60-40 split. I'd even go as far as 70-30. He's clearly the A-side. If I'm Floyd, I let him fight in DAZN. There's no problem. Almost look at what, if you're that confident, and I think he is confident that Javante will beat Tevin, do what Top Rank did, right? Do what Top Rank's been doing. Loma came here, fought on Sky Sports. Obviously, it was shown on ESPN, slightly different. But do what he done with Ramirez fighting on DAZN, fighting Hooker, away from home. Won, got the belt, has gone back. Javante Davis could do exactly the same thing. Go to DAZN, perform, snatch that $5 million that Eddie's talking about, take the belt, then go back. What's the problem, right? I think it's because of Floyd's allegiance to Showtime that this is happening. And obviously Al Heyman and Leonard Ellaby. I have no issue, or there shouldn't be no issue with Javante Davis fighting on the zone. What do you guys think? Who do you think wins that fight? I think Javante Davis puts him to sleep. And I actually would love to see Javante Davis versus Loma at 130, just because Javante Davis has that X factor. Not just because of the power, but I mean just the X factor in terms of his aura, right? He's got this aura about him now, and you've got the Floyd Mayweather thing. It'll be built up so nice. That's the fight I'd like to see. I'd like to see that more than the winner of Comey versus Lopez all day long. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about all the news? Let me know. Leave your comments below. Peace.